Hi, good evening, guys. Good evening, fellas. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, dudes. How you do? Wish you always the best. And in this video, I'd like to just share an idea with you, and I think it's interesting idea. And it's about fear. Fear. Sometimes you feel afraid of something in your life. Every one of us may has his fear. Yes, you have fear inside you. This fear is different from person to person. Our fears are something belong to us, but we have to face our fears. We cannot live without facing our fears. It's normal. It's very normal to live with fears. Yeah, it's normal to live with fears. But it's not normal to live without facing your fears. If you cannot face your fear, so you cannot defeat it, you cannot overcome it, you cannot get over this fear. So it's important to face your fears. For example, when I was a kid, I used to be afraid of many things. And especially, I'm afraid of being alone, for example. Always I'd like to be in a company. Yeah. Being alone, something which is very terrifying for me. This is very terrible and terrifying for me. Terrifying, yes. Horrible. Yeah. But sometimes you'll find yourself alone. How you can face that? Maybe you'll think that what is the point here? Why he's speaking about his fears when he was young, when he was a kid, when he was 5 or 7 years, and he's afraid to be alone. Maybe when you are a kid, you are afraid of the dark. Yeah, you are afraid of the dark. Or you are afraid of the heights. You are afraid of the heights. Or you are afraid of the closed places. Or you are afraid of the water, for example. Or you are afraid of fire. There are many kinds of fears. The point here is not speaking about our fears when we are kids, literally. I would like to say that we have many fears of our life. For example, when I'm a student at high school, for example, or intermediate school, or when I'm a student in primary school, maybe my fears is to raise my hand. I cannot raise my hand. I cannot ask a question because I'm afraid that my teacher will just scold me. He will scold me. He will yell at me. So I'm not raising my hand to say that. Or I'm thinking that I'm going to screw up. I will make a mistake. Yes, I will screw up. So I will not raise my thumb. I will not say I would like to ask or I would like to answer. This is yes, kind of fears. Yeah, so you'll live always with this fear. These fears, if you live with it, that means your character is going to be with it. You'll not be able to get rid of these fears because you cannot face it. Right now, for example, when you ask someone to deliver a speech in the public. Maybe you'll find many of us not willing to deliver their speech. Or if they did, they are not going to deliver it appropriate. It will be inappropriate speech. It will not be appropriate. It will not be appropriate. It will not be convincing. It will not be persuading, because they are full of fears. They are full of fears. So they will screw up. They will be awkward. They will be awkward. So, because they are afraid to face the audience. They are afraid to be in front of the public. So this fear is not just created at this moment. No, this fear, of course, is going from their kid days till today, and it grows up with them. The problem here is that we didn't face it. We didn't face these fears. It's not bad at all to be afraid. Every one of us, me and you and everyone has his fears. And it is not shameful at all to be afraid of something. It's not at all shameful in my view. It's normal feeling. It's normal. It's humane to be afraid of things. But the problem is, if you know your fears, you have to face them. Just be afraid, but do it. You are afraid to be in front of the public. You are afraid to deliver a speech. You feel awkward. You feel hesitant. You feel afraid. Okay, no problem. But do it. You have to be courageous. You have to be courageous. You have to be brave. Yeah. It takes guts. I know it takes guts to do that. But you have to do it. So we should teach our kids how to overcome their fears. How to overcome their fears. Some of our kids are afraid of the barking of dogs, for example. When he is hearing a dog barking, just he's thrilled to the pets. Yeah, he's shivering. You should try to teach your kid how to overcome his fears, how to face his fears. This is very important in our life. I think facing these weak points in our characters will help us to build better abilities and capabilities in the future, of course. And of course, it is spontaneous speech, and I did it without any plan. Just this idea popped into my mind, and I did it with you. I filmed it with you. I recorded it in a video with you. So please, if I'm not organized enough, if I'm not doing it in order, forgive me. Till meet you again. Wish you good luck and goodbye. Thank you.